Ready for Objective C, Object-Oriented Programming and Objective-C. Alright, so what I'm going to do today is go over the syllabus, go over the requirements for the course, go over what you need. I see some MacBooks out, that's a good sign. I see a Vizio in the back though, a Vio in the back, that's not going to work. A Dell in the back, that's not going to work. So the purpose of today is just to go over what you're going to need for the course. And I'm going to probably give you a little bit of orientation, a little introduction to it. But a really lightweight class tonight, not too bad, because it's after a long weekend and no class last week. Wednesday we'll really start in with programming. Plus I don't see anybody here today. Kind of a low attendance going on today as well. So, but you guys will know what the class is about at least. So what do we have going on here? We're going to learn about Objective-C. If you have a C background, you're in good shape. If you don't have a C background, if you have a Java background, that's actually good too, but C's better. If you don't have a C background, don't worry about it. You can learn everything you need to learn in this class. I'm going to start real low with Hello World and work up from that way, really focusing on the object-oriented parts of Objective-C. If you read through the description, and where I found this is for those people who are brand new to the course, it is just recently uploaded to Objective-C, Object-Oriented Programming and Objective-C right here, for which you're just going to see Lecture 1 in the syllabus right now. So all of the recorded lectures and everything will be put here. I'm redesigning this course. I'm not going to teach it the same way I taught it last time, so I have brand new lectures and everything. So long story short, nothing's populated yet. Not even the assignments, but I'm going to have those out within about a week or so. So I'll let you know, because it's only an 8-week course. So, but I'm revamping and remodeling everything. So we'll have fresh, brand new assignments and fresh, brand new material. From a slightly different perspective, I want to focus actually the course on the iPhone and what you need for iPhone application development in terms of the Objective-C. The previous class was more on Coca development for the Mac. Objective-C is really the programming language that we're using for the Mac. And so we have Xcode as the development environment that we're going to use for this course. And if you don't have a Mac, that's where you're going to need to go out and get a Mac, because you need a Mac. So if you don't have the most current, latest and greatest Mac, you don't have to worry about it actually, because for this particular course, and also for the iPhone course, you can work with an older OS. You can work with an older IDE. The only thing is you can't take advantage of the storyboard and some of the newest features of the current Xcode. So the current Xcode version, and the reason why I brought this up is to kind of point it out to you, is 4.3.2. This could actually be old, but this is about 2 months old. I upgraded my system a couple months ago. What I did with this system is I put Lion on it. There's now a Mountain Lion version out. Don't worry, if you don't have Mountain Lion, you don't have to worry about it. Lion will work just fine. So will Snow Leopard. But if you're on Snow Leopard, you're going to be on a previous version of Xcode, because it's not supported on a 4.3. So the problem is, we're on iOS 5. Problem is we have iOS 6 right around the corner, and that's going to be supported on Lion and Mountain Lion. So if you're a Snow Leopard person, and if you don't have a MacBook, you don't know this yet, but you're going to have a MacBook hopefully before the end of the week, maybe, or soon. Or have access to one. The library's got, I don't know how many are in there, but the library's got a dozen or so MacBooks for those people who have Windows systems. And because you'll need it for this course, you can borrow the library systems if you need to. And they're going to have Leopard on it probably, not even Snow Leopard. And I know they don't have Lion on it. But if you have a fast processor, you can upgrade to Lion for like 15 bucks, and it's worth it. If you're just going to use it for study for your classes, it's worth it. And in terms of speed, it's going to slow the computer down a little bit. Lion has got some issues with speed in terms of being a little bit of a memory hog. A lot of complaints. A lot of people haven't upgraded to it. They've not. So it doesn't really matter for the purposes of this course. Any version will work. There are new MacBooks coming out in September, another month away, so there's super duper sales going on right now. You can probably buy a really decent Leopard, well, you could probably get a Lion system that's been upgraded with upgraded RAM for about $400 bucks. You know, $300 to $400 right now, used. not new, used. Probably buy a new system between $600 and $800 for a brand new system, because everyone's getting rid of them, because the brand new model's coming out that's going to be just like the MacBook Air, but it's the MacBook Pro, stronger, faster processor, more storage space than the Airs, with the solid state drive and real thin. So everybody wants to upgrade, so they're getting rid of their current ones, and they're, the first people that are selling them now are the ones that are they're on the waiting list, So long story short, you probably find a good deal. Not a bad thing if you're going to get into iPhone development to own a MacBook. You can't use I see a lot of them. This is nice. I see a lot of systems here, which is nice. And if you're on the current one, then you can take advantage of the current iOS, which is 5.0, if you're also in the iPhone class. If you're not on the current one and you don't have 4.3 or aroundish, 4.31, 4.32, 4.33, something like that, it's going to be harder or impossible to upgrade to the next one that's coming out, the iOS 6, which is coming out. Because it's not going to be supported on the operating system, essentially. It's not going to be supported on Snow Leopard. It's not going to be supported, 4.3 isn't supported on Snow Leopard. So, long story short, if you're going to get an old system, keep it as an old system. Use it for classes, for email, for development work. If you really want the latest and greatest, hold off until September. Then you're going to get the nicest, fastest, best option out there with the supported system that's going to run on the next iOS version, the 6. So we're kind of in between right now, which is kind of interesting. Last time I taught this class, we were at Snow Leopard. We were at the 3.2 version, and all of the examples that I had and everything, all the materials were designed for the lower versions. So much has changed, which is why I'm revamping everything. In fact, I'm revamping all of the lectures and stuff for Objective-C as well. Only because everything is completely different. So you have to run in place. You can't use old materials for it. So that's why we don't have anything posted yet. But we will have a lot of stuff posted very soon. So what you've been staring at is Xcode. So what you want to do is, if you don't have a Mac computer, get one. Load Xcode on it. Either this version or the one prior to it is fine. We're going to use this for the iPhone class and also for the Objective-C class, which is what you're taking now. Don't ask me if it's supported on Windows. It's not. You can't do this on Windows. Actually, if you have a Linux system, you could install a GCC Objective-C compiler, because it is GCC, and you can do the Objective-C part of it on a Linux box. You can't do the iPhone stuff on the Linux box, though. So if you're in both classes, just get a MacBook. Just long story short. Alright, so what are we going to do in this class? This class focuses first on teaching Objective-C language, which is, I'm going to actually show you a little bit of C in terms of variables and declarations. I have to start that low because some people have never taken a programming course before. But then eventually we're going to move in. It's only 8 weeks, so we're going to move pretty quickly from the syntax to design, features, capabilities, into an introduction to Coca. And the libraries themselves, the development, and all the way through GUI, which is actually kind of interesting because it's using an interface builder utility, which is what I'm going to show you through Xcode. In fact, I'll even show you today, basically how to create Hello World. And it's the same process that you're going to use for the iPhone, which is really nice because then you can do them both simultaneously. In Objective-C, the principal language itself is built off of C. So what you're looking at then is the ability to transfer everything you know about C to Objective-C, and then basically pick up some object orientation at the same time, hopefully. So on the Mac OS X, it's used together Coca and the NS library class. I'll talk about that today as well. Just give you an introduction to it. And the iPhone together basically with the UI class libraries. So the iPhone and iPad development is really Coca development plus different UI. So the interface builder is the interface builder, Xcode is Xcode. So we just, in fact here, I'll show you the difference. You just select a different project type. So over here when we go create a new Xcode project, in this class, we'll be creating projects that fit into this category down here. In the iPhone class, we'll fit into projects that fit into this category up here. And as an example, the framework library classes will give you the COCA libraries, COCA frameworks. Also supports C and C++. In fact, you can program, that's why I said if you know C, you're in good luck. You're in good shape. Xcode supports C and C++, and Objective-C is written on top of C. So C++ and Objective-C are on the same level. They're both object-oriented versions of C. C is the foundation for both of those two languages. And Objective-C is more object-oriented than C++ is. And it's basically for this framework. It's for the Mac OS framework, which is why you can't actually program Mac applications on a non-Mac platform. You have to use you basically have to use the right operating system for it. Can we keep the volume down? I don't want to yell over people. I'll just stop talking and people get the hint. There we go. Thank you. Alright, so what you're looking at then is our interface. These are the development tools that you're going to need for the course. Download it if you haven't done it already. I plan on spending, what is this loading? It's probably going to load some updates for me because I haven't opened it up in a while, a couple weeks. So long story short, plan on a couple of hours to download. It's about 3 gigs. And count on about having maybe about 30 gigabytes of disk space on your system as well, because you're going to need it. Not necessarily for the program, but the requirements for caching and some of the operation requires a lot of hard disk space. So if you've got a small computer, you're on like an Air or something with only a 60 gig hard drive and you already have a bunch of stuff on it, you might not be able to load Xcode on it unless you erase some stuff on that system. If you're on a 200 gig hard drive, you got the best of all worlds, essentially. Alright, so this course, can we keep it down, please? Okay. In this course, what we're doing, I just don't want to yell over people today. Supported, okay, so Xcode actually supports multiple different languages, as we've seen. The assignments and everything must be written in Objective-C. So Objective-C is a dialect of C. So I'm going to first start showing you a little bit of C for those people who don't know C. And then we're going to slowly go into the Objective-C syntax and stuff of that nature. So starting in with today in Hello World, we'll see how that comes together. And so what we'll end up doing here is also bringing it to a point where we're working with the interface builder and we're creating applications just like we would be doing for the iPhone class. In the iPhone class, if you're taking that one as well, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to focus on the iPhone part and then work backwards to the Objective-C, which is kind of interesting. So I think you'll find both of them kind of complement, hopefully, each other. So the learning objectives for the course, learning the basic concepts, techniques of developing applications for the Mac OS X, or operating system is what OS stands for. And learning the NS class libraries as well, development tools, getting basic concepts of COCA development features, understanding Objective-C, being familiar and creating interfaces with the IDE, Xcode, and also using the interface builder inside of Xcode to make GUI applications as well, and how to create various different applications, using Objective-C. So you're going to create 5 applications in this course in total, and I'm going to run through the applications. If you were in the last class, very similar to the object-oriented programming in Java course, same kind of format, starting in on Wednesday. Working on, well, today we're going to do Hello World, but starting on Wednesday we're going to actually end up writing some applications, some command line applications. So 25% of the class is on a final exam in class. In fact, this is identical to object-oriented programming in Java syllabus, in terms of the layout. So you have a final exam, you'll have a CSLO worth 25%. This one will be a question and answer concept based. It's not going to be programming. 50% of the course is on the programming assignments. So there you have 5 programs worth 10 points each. And we're going to run through each one of the 5 programs as we get through. The last one will be a GUI one. The first one is going to be obviously a command line application. And then we'll run through different features of the language through each one of them, focusing on the object-oriented components, which is implemented a little bit differently than the Java, actually. So there's a few different features, and there's a few different techniques that are being used here. So that's the course makeup. This one again won't be programming, and I don't have this posted yet. I'll have the CSLO, which is going to be an essay / short question answer kind of thing. There's no midterm in the course. There's no midterm. Instead, you have 50% on those programming assignments. And don't do like what some people did last term and waited till the night before to turn stuff in. Well, you don't have any assignments right now, so you can't turn them in right now. But this is only day number 1. But don't wait till the last day, because I have a handful of people who are claiming that they had issues, and they waited till the last day to turn something in. So, and if you're still waiting for your grade, don't worry about it. It's coming this week for the last 2 classes. And there's a few hang-ups with the EMS, and the EMS has actually been down, or the classes were down actually, inaccessible for me. So hopefully they'll be back in order, because we're switching over to a new system again. So there's integrating with another system. Long story short, you have to be patient. Plus, it usually takes a couple weeks to get the grades posted and stuff like that anyway. So academic dishonesty, just like before, I can tell who wrote what, and I can see multiple programs very easily. So don't turn in multiple programs, or you're going to get a 0. If you do your own work and it's not perfect, it's better than not turning in somebody else's work. Don't do that. The deadline for all of the assignments is going to be the last day of the course, which for in our particular case, I've written it actually out here, the last day of the course, August something, August 27th. And so that will probably be the day of the final exam as well, unless it's a holiday or something of that nature, which I don't think it is, actually. So we're looking at August 27th. So that we're looking at an 8-week schedule starting today. And this is going to run, excuse me, I'm up here. So I've decided I'm actually going to go till 7 on this class, because last term when I went till 6:30, I always went till 6:45, quarter to 7, sometimes 7. So I'm just going to give myself till 7. So the next class, the iPhone class, will start at 7. This class will run 5 to 7 for those people. And then that actually gives the iPhone people some extra time to get here by 7. And then I don't feel so rushed. 2 hours is better than an hour and a half, essentially. And then if we have time, we just take a break in between. So I won't feel so rushed. We're technically supposed to go till 7:30, according to the ITU schedule. But I never go that long, so. Alright, so the equipment, any Apple computers mentioned before, preferably a MacBook or a MacBook Pro, so it's portable, you can take it with you. I encourage you to bring your computers to class, like I see some of you guys have done already. And there's links between the things that we're going to be doing in class, as well as the assignments that you're going to be doing, so it's within, it's definitely to your advantage to participate as much as possible in terms of following along the exercises that I'll be doing in class. The grading scheme here is the standard stuff I've been using ever since I started here. And it's on a point system, on a flat-out point system. So if you get 94 points, you're going to get an A minus. If you get 95 points, you're going to get an A, which is what the break-off here is. So don't come to me and ask me, oh, it's 94, can I get an A? No, it's 94 is an A minus. Also, the other thing is you have to keep into mind is that the grades don't change either. You can't just ask for a grade, which I don't know where that comes from. Some students around here just ask for grades. Hey, can I get this? Can I get that? It's like, and then also I don't ask for an A plus either. I don't give, and people are familiar with that. There's no such thing as an A plus at this school. 4.0 is a 4.0. It doesn't get any higher than that. So. And all assignments, again, have to go into the EMS, same as before. Same process as before. I'm looking around and I see a lot of familiar faces, so I don't really necessarily have to spend too much time going over this stuff. But, you're supposed to on the first day of class, so that's what I'm doing here. So. And as I mentioned before, the syllabus is located here. Over here, we just have lecture number 1, which I'm going to start today. But we don't have very much else out here yet. This will be populated with the recorded lectures, the live lectures. It will also be populated with the assignments, which aren't out yet. And the EMS is not ready yet either. That'll be done by the end of the week. So it'll be populated with the syllabus and with all of the stuff. And I happen to be in between TAs right now. The TA, I think I've lost both of them. One of them's sick and the other one retired. So if you haven't noticed, up here in front I've got 2 folders for the attendance. So go ahead at your leisure, without disturbing the rest of the class, come up and sign. And, you know, it's on the honor system tonight. So normally, well, we've been having people come in to do it for me, and we'll probably end up with that next week. So you're in luck this week. So you get to do it yourself. But who knows what's going to happen with that as well. Any questions about the syllabus? Any questions about the course? What you got yourself into? Don't ask me if you can use a Windows machine. You can't. Don't ask me if you can do the assignments in C or Java. You can't. We're learning Objective-C in this course. That's the objective, is Objective-C. That's the purpose of you being here. Okay, great. So if there aren't any questions, you can think of them, you can always send me an email message. All your familiar faces, I'm just saying this for people who are brand new, the website is www.bhecker.com. That's where you're going to find the materials. And my email address is bhecker@itu.edu. So that's the information. But you guys are all familiar faces. So usually at the beginning of the term, I usually have more new students. But this term is starting in the middle of summer. So no new students are here. You guys are all the existing ones. So. Alright, well then I'm going to end this video and call it the introduction to the class. So if you came in a little bit late, you can watch it and figure out what you missed, if you missed anything important. Probably didn't, actually. So.